Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other updates. So the last update about Taste of Fate. Ranbir planned to throw a surprise party for Prachi and their unborn baby, and Ria is surprised at Ranbir's sudden change and happy behavior. Let's continue. Ranbir visits their old rented house and remember the time he spent with Prachi. A song plays in the background. He recalls the landlord lady asking him to work. The landlord lady's daughter-in-law comes there with Stanley. She says she is glad to see Ranbir, and she tells Stanley that they were here before. Ranbir says to Stanley that I and Prachi have stayed here, and he has memories of the house with Prachi, so he wants to buy the house for his wife, Prachi. He invites the lady to the party. The lady says she got her mother-in-law's call and she goes. Stanley says to Ranbir that you can buy a house in a posh area as you are giving much money for this. Ranbir says he is giving the price for the house and not for the area. Prachi has made this house with her hand and says they have so many memories related to this house and it is very close to his heart. Stanley asks Ranbir, why didn't you buy the house before as you had much money even before starting your startup? Ranbir says he wanted to buy the house with his money. He calls a designer and asks her to send red color saree for Prachi as today is their anniversary. The designer says okay. Ranbir says he will not wish Prachi happy anniversary now. Stanley says Prachi must be angry now. Ranbir says he will wish her in the party after 12 a.m. The lady comes there and says her mother-in-law will reach by evening. Ranbir says okay and goes with Stanley. Ria tells Aliyah that yesterday she saw Ranbir making Prachi have food with his aunt and I was angry. She says I misunderstood and says that Ranbir was just making her have food as he wanted her to be pained. She says if Ranbir had loved Prachi, then he would have kept the party for Prachi, but he has kept the party for his startup venture. Ria says Ranbir did not wish Prachi happy anniversary till now. Aliyah asks, how do you know? Ria says she heard Prachi and Shahana talking. Ria says she has a feeling that Ranbir will propose to her today. Prachi gets a phone call and opens the door. The delivery guy gives her the bag. Prachi asks who has sent it. The guy says Ranbir sir. Prachi takes the bag and goes. Aliyah says Prachi went without saying anything. Ria says Prachi is angry that Ranbir haven't wished her happy anniversary and he wants to move on with me and he wants to leave Prachi. She says she wants him to officially divorce Prachi. Aliyah says she doesn't want Prachi to take any NGO help when there is no relationship, then it should end. Ranbir gets a call from the designer that the saree has been sent to Prachi. Prachi comes to the room and gets angry. Ranbir calls her and asks her if she liked the saree. Prachi says, why did you send it? Ranbir asks, did you forget that today is the party? She ends the call. Ranbir enjoys teasing Prachi and says, I know that our anniversary matters to you a lot. Prachi says, now it will not matter to me. The party begins. Vikram greets the guest. The guest asks Vikram about Ranbir agreeing to Mr. Khanna. Vikram says Mr. Khanna can never answer this. Mr. Khanna says he has refused Vikram, but he collaborated with Ranbir saying his love, and he goes on praising him that he understands love and marriage. Shahana hears him and tells Grandma that it is strange that Ranbir understands love and marriage, but Grandma tells Shahana that tomorrow is the day. Prachi thinks that Ranbir might want to wish her later. Ranbir remembers their anniversary. Grandma says Ranbir said that he will take Prachi to their rented house. Shahana smiles. Prachi gets upset. Ranbir comes home and asks Pallavi. Pallavi asks him to get ready. Grandma asks Ranbir to come with her. Ria introduces herself as Ranbir's wife to Mr. Kapoor. Vikram looks on. Mr. Kapoor says, so you are his wife, and says everyone will get the answer now. Ranbir loves you so much, and his thinking and understanding about marriage and love is different. Mr. Kapoor says he did not want to merge with any company, but saying the way Ranbir convinced him, he immediately said, I do. He asks if Ranbir is romantic. Ria says we are like normal people. Mr. Kapoor says it was different yesterday. Mr. Kapoor tells Vikram that he wanted the march party to be kept after 2 days, but Ranbir insisted to keep it today. Grandma takes Ranbir to a side and tells him that she was about to tell Shahana, but then she told her that you are taking Ranbir to Mrs. Varma's house. Ranbir thanks her for saving the surprise. He goes to get ready. Shahana asks Prachi if she wants something. Prachi says she is fine and asks her not to inquire if Ranbir remembers their anniversary. She says she felt bad at first, but not anymore. Ranbir looks at Prachi and admires her as she talks to Shahana. Prachi looks at Ranbir. A song plays in the background. Prachi says she has forgotten her phone and she goes. Ranbir goes behind her. Aliyah tells Pallavi that everyone is talking about Ranbir. He is the hero of the business world. Rhea comes there. Aliyah says nobody can defeat Rhea in her dress. Pallavi compliments Rhea. Aliyah says Rhea is glowing. Rhea tells her that she introduced herself to Mr. Kapoor and he said that she has a big hand behind Ranbir's success, and when he speaks about love and marriage, it is like poetry. She says, I told them that we are like normal husband and wife. She says, I thought if he is speaking about Prachi, but I came to know that Ranbir told him this yesterday. Pallavi tells Rhea that Aliyah told her about Ranbir and her and that their relationship has now been taken to another level. Then Rhea begins to blush. Ranbir stops Prachi. Prachi asks him to move from her way. Ranbir says, I will not leave your way and all your support. Prachi says to Ranbir that you are an ordu in my way. Ranbir says, I will stand with you and asks her to praise him. Prachi says, you are looking nice. Ranbir says, when I change my clothes, I will look dashing. Prachi says, you asked me to praise you, and I did, and says she cannot do anymore. Ranbir says to Prachi that you praised me forcefully, and says he wanted to give her compliment. He says, you are looking very beautiful, Mrs. Kohli. Prachi asks Ranbir not to say that, and says whoever said that he is saying the truth are big liars. Ranbir looks on. Prachi tells Ranbir that the person who says that he always says true is a big liar. Ranbir asks if I am a liar and asks her to go to the room and see herself in the mirror. Ranbir says if you don't feel that you are looking beautiful, that I am a liar. He says you are looking beautiful in the saree chosen by you. Prachi says to Ranbir that you are habitual to flirting and asks him not to flirt with her. Ranbir says you are my wife. Prachi says yes. Ranbir asks if she is upset. Prachi says she is very much worried and she goes from there. Ranbir calls Stanley and asks him to send the divorce papers. Rhea sees Ranbir and goes behind him. Ranbir comes to the room. He removes his jacket and goes to the washroom. Rhea checks in his jacket and finds a ring in the box. She gets happy and goes. She collides with Prachi outside. Prachi asks Rhea to be careful. Rhea asks Prachi to also be careful. Prachi thinks that why is Rhea so much happy, and she thinks that Ranbir might have told her what he did not tell me. Rhea goes to Aliyah and says she was about to get her life's biggest surprise, but she herself ruined it. She says she saw a ring box in his blazer and Ranbir wanted to start a life with me. She says she is so happy and she hugs Aliyah. Stanley meets the divorce papers lawyer and gets the papers. He reads the paper. The divorce lawyer says it is good that you are checking well, but the divorce will not happen. He says I met Rhea in the party and she will not leave Ranbir. He says Rhea's enmity and friendship is not good. Even the enemy should not get such a wife. Stanley says he would call Ranbir and inform him that the papers are ready. He calls Ranbir. Prachi picks the call. The lawyer says that the divorce papers are ready and he sent it through Stanley. Ranbir is seen attending to the call after taking the phone from Prachi. He says okay and asks Prachi why she picked the call. Prachi says she has no interest to attend to his personal calls. Ranbir asks what is she doing here. Prachi recalls their moment. Ranbir asks Prachi to say it. Prachi says nothing and she goes. Ranbir smiles. Prachi comes back and says if you are thinking that I am a fool, then you are the fool. I know your truth. Ranbir is surprised. Shahana sees Prachi sad and tells her that Ranbir will wish her surely, as tomorrow is their marriage date. Prachi says she doesn't want party, but loyalty from the person who used to regard me as his wife. Prachi says I am foolish to believe in Ranbir's talks, and I think that nobody can be a good lover than him. She says when he saved my wedding necklace, I thought that he values it. She says when I gained consciousness in the hospital, I saw Ranbir hugging Rhea. Prachi says for Ranbir, his business, house and Rhea are values to him. Ranbir hears Prachi. Prachi says I realized that Ranbir is not the same anymore, who used to tell me how much he loves me. She says it was their rented house where they used to stay happy. She says we shouldn't have come here. Ranbir says to Prachi that you made that house yours and I will make it heaven now. Prachi says we have deficit of money. Ranbir says but we have so much love. She says I used to go to the office and then when I come home in the evening, Ranbir thinks that we used to talk. Prachi says it was our small world. Ranbir thinks that we used to celebrate with our neighbors. Prachi says she just had 60 rupees. She says Ranbir came and took her to the terrace. A flashback is shown. Ranbir brings Prachi to the terrace and says he wants to show her heaven. A song plays in the background. Prachi gets emotional and happy to see their picture on their anniversary. Ranbir wishes her happy anniversary chick. He asks if she doesn't like it. Prachi says no and says she was thinking that why did their money finish before the month ends, and says that she had given money to Pion for his daughter's wedding without thinking how they will celebrate their anniversary. Ranbir says Prachi did the right thing. He says your salary is not big, but your heart is big. He goes on praising her for helping someone for their marriage and asks her to think what they would have bought with her money. He says bride must have worn good clothes. He asks her not to worry and tells her that he bought her a priceless smile. Ranbir says to Prachi that people like and love you. Prachi asks if he is jealous. Ranbir says he is proud and says his wife is good. He acted to be upset and says you did not wish me happy anniversary. Prachi wishes him happy wedding anniversary. Ranbir asks for sweet. Prachi says I will make sweet. Ranbir says the sweet is somewhere else and kisses on her cheeks. He says taste it, it is good. Prachi says she will make something. Ranbir says we have to fulfill our anniversary ritual and wishes her happy wedding anniversary. Ranbir and Prachi dance on a song. After their dance ends, Prachi asks what is this? Ranbir says 50 rupees mini cake. I bought it from 60 rupees which was left with them. They cut the cake piece together and make a wish to stay together for 1000 years. The flashback ends. Prachi says the neighbor had gone. A flashback is shown again. The neighbors comes there and asks who gave you permission to celebrate here. Ranbir says today was our anniversary. The landlord lady asks where is the cake. Ranbir says we are cutting pastry and says we can have one bite. Ranbir says I want to increase my love with everyone. Prachi promised to make them have laddu tomorrow. Ranbir makes everyone have a bite of the pastry. He says I got my sweet and I will give yours at home. The flashback ends again. Prachi says to Shahana that was the most beautiful day filled with love and says yeah it is a big house and party but the heart is empty. She goes. Ranbir promised that nothing will be incomplete. Our love and relationship will be completed. Ranbir says to himself that I will divorce Ria today and then I will unite with Prachi forever and we will stay in the house where we are happy. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, share it and please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Thank you.